Sorry?
So we have the moon in this color. When we change the color, we want to see it brighter, like 3D or stuff. Flip it upside down, the same way you would see in the mirror. You have something in the mirror, you see it upside down, you see it in a different way, right? So that's the mirror effect. So afterward, we color the continents in green, and for the water as well. We have earth and water. So and see this is a circle that mirrors the circle Earth. Circle at least the big circle, the whole Earth. And that's the result of the continents, the known world, and the other unknown world, which is off limits. That's why you can't go beyond parallel 60, the Antarctic Treaty. And this is the known world, the continents as we know them, so the Americas, Africa, Asia, Europe, Australia, and the oceans around it, and Antarctica, which is now has a different dimension in terms of a different way of understanding it, and holding the ice wall, we see it in a different way. And then what's this? The other world, the other continents, bigger oceans. And that obviously that's a limit. Obviously that's what the moon shows. It's just a limit of the actual reflection as a mirror. And then there's more land because everything is an extension plane, and it goes really well with what the Hindu knowledge or the about the plane Earth according to Sanskrit. I don't like to say Hindu because Hindu is a religion, not Sanskrit. So anyway, I'm not saying anything. I'm open-minded, so the most important thing for someone who does research or to investigate as a person or human being is to be open-minded and open to every single thing. And this makes a lot more sense, and this helps to put together all the pieces of the puzzle and have a better understanding of everything that we touched so far on the channel and other channels as well. It's fascinating stuff. At least for me, it's super fascinating. I'm hoping that the title of the video, what you've seen in this video, actually helps you a bit more, and this together with the Glee cinema and with Antarctica, as we've spoken about before, and the ice wall, and all the other stuff with the legends and myths, and what we've seen so far from the crater flat Earth plane, and again Sanskrit and everything else, and allows you to actually know more and put this into perspective with the rules and regulations of this world. And well, you got yourself something that blows you away in a positive sense, so it wakes you up. There's so many things that it can wake up with. This is one of them. So I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.
What did I tell you about your vision? Your vision sees everything upside down. That's not a mirror effect. Mirrors flip left and right. They don't flip up and down. Your vision flips things upside down. And your mind's eye flips things right side up. And they falsely assume that when you see things, you're seeing through your mind's eye. Your mind's eye is what you see with when you close your eyes and you're no longer getting clear information through your eyes. And it ends up causing you to dream. You'll get visions and stuff like that if you actually stay conscious while you're dozing off. You'll start to see visions start to appear in your eyes because of the pressure. I've already showed you, you press on the outside of your eye, you get a light reflection on the inside of your eye. You press on the top of your eye, you get a reflection on the bottom of your eye. And obviously on the bottom, you get a reflection on the top. You put your palms on your eyes, then you see these things that people see when they're in hallucinations. Because your whole body becomes full of light, because your eyes are one at that point. Just like if you press on the two outer edges of your eye, and you'll see how those light reflections expand outward and they become one. It's just like if you look at something in between your two eyes, you can see right past it because they are one. It's all in your head, man. That's what they don't want you to know. They want you to think that, they want you to think it's basically, a material world with limitations and things like that. They try to shape your worldview knowing the power of imagination, the power of belief. The thing about Planet X and these extra planets and all the extra stars and all this extra suns and all that, the reason people can't even comprehend or see it It's because they can't comprehend or see it. And that's why you see it faintly right now. You don't see it fully. Sure what I mean. Like in a lot of these images, it's not exactly clear what you're looking at. You see that? See how it's not exactly clear? And then we have, actually they found that we had 3 moons. 2 of them much larger than our regular moon. And they're made out of like what they would consider like a dusk. In my head, that's just that they haven't decoded it yet. When the Native Americans first saw the ships of the explorers, well, really the invaders, it's not sugar-coated. Georgia the Jungle, as they called them, because they also had cavemen in their area. It just didn't have ships. The Indians couldn't even grasp or see or decode the ships. I'm not sure when they were able to decode them, but you can look this up. The Indians were not able to see the ships. Just like when Abraham took his servant with him for the testing from God. And right here, you see this? The Indian guy, not Indian guy, but this Arab guy, he's catching on his camera. You can see it right here on his camera. See it? It's on his camera. It's not fake, this is real. It's multiple sources of this, multiple, like I have a lot more of these I could have shown you. But you know, the way people's mentality is shaped due to NASA makes them fearful of this. But if you know about flat Earth, you're not quite as fearful. Your fears are different. Your fears are this thing falling on you. Your fear is not, it's just so close, you know, because you know you have all these other objects that are close, very close. And I've already shown you all the second sun at the South Pole and all this stuff, how the sun talks to me, all this kind of stuff, because of who I am. And that's why it decodes that to me in such a specific way, and why it does these solar blasts, the rushing in of him, Jesus Christ. And that's why I can call it to the day and the hour, and sometimes to the second, and obviously to the minute. The rushing in of him at noonday or midnight for me blasts these things, you know, it causes the Tonga tsunami, and Tonga's basically been erased. And I just heard about some people that were being held hostage by Tonga, which I can't even understand how it's possible when I thought they didn't exist anymore after that eruption wiped them off the map. And felt bad for it, but not anymore after that. Now I understand why God did it, because they had this kind of mentality. And yeah, that kind of thing. I've already explained this. You don't know my page. Oh, it actually has a full view then. Well, didn't have to zoom in. And then right here, you're actually seeing extra suns and stuff like that. I'm wondering why this thing won't disappear, this top part. Okay, there you go. But not all this is true. Not all these footages are in this video compilation is true. You know, some of them are though. I've seen this, I've recorded it myself personally. Just like how I showed you, there was that circular object next to the sun that when I overexpose the sun, you can see it. You can see the gold and all that. You see how there's that thing above it? Just like how in my video. Leah's got to do with Mount Zion and all that, the gold, you can see it and all that. But you also saw a circular object that the chemtrails then hid once the overexposure went away. It's just like how they made the gold less obvious. Like that last picture before this one was very obviously it. That last one, I don't know. Right there, like the one before, I don't know, like, because I'm not so sure. But I'm also theorizing that it could be the effects of this are also decoding based on how much we can perceive it, like space itself. Like we only perceive, people only perceive like 0.0000 something 1, like a really small percentage of what's actually out there. And like I said, people that do these hallucinogens are using the whole brain visually to see everything. That's the strongest part of your brain. That's why it's on the opposite side of your eyes, your optical cortex, and it's basically the most powerful part of your brain. And when they do these hallucinogens, they're just able to see it, and that's why the dude in the flat earth video was like, these things tend towards entropy, not order. You don't get order out of chaos, And then he was like, so how the hell is it we got something as complex as an eyeball, a human eyeball, out of this, And that's why the angels are surrounded with eyes and all this power and all this stuff I've been telling you about. I ascended the throne about a month ago. And this is just the beginning of what I want to talk to you about. I want to talk to y'all about what the moon very likely is. What it really is. And why they're so desperate to hide it. Not alone has this information, and I really need to get this out to y'all right now, because I don't know how much longer I'm going to be here. Like, the other world, it tried to grab me. It tried to grab me last night. Like, when I was dreaming, it literally tried to grab me, and then I spoke in tongues and called it the other world ZenRon. And ZenRon means, it's believed to mean a gift from God, a gift of God. And then there's another word that sounds like it, I'm not sure if I was saying that one, called ZenRon. And that's got to do with like a gift from Zeus or something like that. Let me show you. But I remember it being ZenRon. So ZenRon, it's probably the same word anyway. You know how they play these word games. It's got to do with friendly. Obviously, it's not a foe, it's a friend, this other world. And receiver of life from Zeus, you see. So I think that's probably the same word, just different languages, like Jesus and Jesus and Zeus and all that kind of stuff, the wordplay they do. But what I wanted to show you is what I saw in my dream. Wish I could keep this up, but I'm just gonna go through this. I called one of the Earths, like, basically what I'm trying to show you is the moon. It's not just a map of Earth. It's not just a map of Earth. The reason it looks like slightly different from Earth is because it's a parallel Earth. That's why I had to flip it upside down. It's the other world. It's like the two witnesses, me and Jesus. One above, one below. And he's below to me. And he's up. Like for example, if he was looking at me, I'm above. You know what I mean? Like, and then to me, he's above. And to me, he's below. And to him, I'm below. You see what I'm saying? Or that's above, that's below. That's why they say that kind of stuff. And they do a lot of upside down type stuff. But that's why you got these. There could be these extra continents. Like there's United Nations flag. I'm not flag, but a map where they show. There's one of them that you haven't seen probably. They show there is a slight opening in the South Pole, which matches up with what people have been saying. That there are there's a slight opening in there where you can get in there and it's not so cold or whatever. And that'd be how you could get to these other continents, ironically. And at the same time, I look at it as just simply as a possibility. This is a different world. It's a parallel world that's slightly different. And that's the difference. Just that simple. And you notice how it looks like it's made out of ice. You see what I'm saying? That's the original way it looks, It's the way the moon looks before they do all this changing of things. And that's why it emits a coldness to it. You're going to pay attention to that because when I get into all these rapture dreams, not only the one that I have on my page, I want to bring up some new ones. And the one on my page that I brought up, it was like an explosion. The moon came and it was an explosion because basically a different world I already conquered. And it was trying to help this world. This world is highly compromise. And a lot of people in this world are just going along with the problem, so it's like it's gonna probably require assistance from a different realm that I've already conquered. But like it's just amazing. Like I call one of the Earths ZenRon. Similar worlds with slight difference exist. You visit them in dreams. We all know this. But these worlds are just like this one, but slightly different. It's based on like our life, like our choices, like like parallel, what they call quantum splits, different possibilities based on like the different positions we've been in our lives and possibilities we have in our life. Blood moons bring them close. The reason the moon has an image of Earth's continents with slight change, like extra continents or slightly changed locations, is due to the moon being a parallel world or being some kind of opening in the heavens showing us parallel worlds, like through like a mirror. It's like not really a mirror. It's like an upside down mirror, though. You know what I mean? And so we're seeing through it, but we're seeing it like distorted, I guess you could say. And there's multiple worlds. That's why you have like people that see like multiple moons, like I was showing you. But I've seen it in a dream where we're at the ship at sea. It's got to do with the oceans, the vastness of the power, the outpouring of spirit out there, and that's what the waters have to do. And they were raging and roaring very powerfully, and we were in this specially made city ship. And I saw the moons. It terrified me because I didn't know what they really were. I didn't know there were other worlds, and that's why the moon has such a strong gravitational power on the Earth. Even more strong than the sun. Like high tides and all that. This is like the Earth. That's massive, and that's why there's such interest in the moon and all this. Why it's worshipped or whatnot. But I saw 3 different colored moons. I believe it was at least 3, and that aligns with what they say we have. And I believe it has to do with the different vibrations that they take on, which has got to do with the different universes vibrating at different frequencies. Why the Schumann has been having all these effects when I do what I do, because I'm like changing the realms and all that kind of stuff, and changing the future and the past and all that. All these realms are being changed by what I'm doing. That's the greatness of my power. So I believe this is the core world, and the other ones, like they branch off from it and the different possibilities and all that kind of stuff. It's like branches coming out of the tree of life, and I am that tree that the angels ascend and descend upon. That son of man, that certain son of the men of this world, the greatest of them that overcame, and has the rod of iron, does rule, and sits on his throne. The 24 elders that seem to have overcome, and that's why there's 24 hours in a day. So basically I saw those moons, and those are just different worlds vibrating at different frequencies and hues and colors. This is why the moon changes colors as well to a blood red. That seems to be a very important one, because obviously last night, as I'm going to get into, I had these dreams about it that were going on. And it's literally like this one guy on Reddit said when I was looking at these other people that have moons about it. I didn't even see I didn't fall asleep. I didn't feel like I fell asleep. I do that a lot of times. Like I'll have visions since I ascended the throne of news about my eyes, that I could basically see like visions and stuff like that without actually falling asleep, or dream without falling asleep, and I'd be totally conscious, like I said. And so this is basically this power showing me what's really going on with the moon. And the moon, I'm pretty sure when it's like close like that, and full, and then like a bloody moon and all these other things that are going on, it's very close. Like this other world is very close, and it's showing that. And I don't know everything about it just yet. I'm going to figure this out, obviously, but I needed to get this information out because it's too critical. And I don't know how long I'm gonna be here. The other world was trying to pull me away from this world last night. This morning, really. It was trying very hard. And You know, I stuck on and I fought hard just to be able to stick here and be able to try and give y'all this message, try and make y'all understand what's really going on, why they don't want you to know about these other worlds, like, because the truth will set you free from fear, death, and all that. Because when we dream every night, we showing ourselves that we not just here, multi-dimensional, multiverse, you know. But anyways, that's why NASA, we're omnipresent, you know. I know I am. Anybody that's like me also is, like people that are, you know, children of my light, the children of my son's light, Jesus Christ. And it seems to be this is why NASA can't land on it either. That's why the guy said it was plasma, and that's why it goes through these phases, like these different tilts, just like the Earth, like when the sun's shining on it, like different angles, like they like to put the truth right in our face, like with the corrupted version. And that's why it never rotates, just like the Earth never rotates, you see? Like, that's why. That's why you can't see the other side. It's always facing us, and it's got this perfect alignment. And it's also got this alignment with the sun, just like Earth. It seems to be related to the least, which is our beginning, and then the sun is the greatest. This is our true form, our latent form. Which is kind of scary, because it implies that the Earth is going to become like a spinning type of thing, like how or it could have to do with the magnetic field, the firmament, which is more likely heaven. So it could be a reflection of heaven. See what I'm saying? And so it's like a ball, like the magnetic field of the Earth, or the firmament, what they call the dome. But it's like, you know, it's obviously made out of hydrogen, and it's just an opening in the heaven, just like the moon seems to be. Like, you can see in these different worlds, these different realms, different possibilities. And this is also why the moon doesn't rotate, and it's also why they say that the moon they calculated to be basically just big enough to fit Mount Zion and the kingdom of God, you know, in Revelation, when they show the measurements of it, you know, with the 12 pillars and all that kind of stuff, the 12 disciples, and the 12 zodiac. And this is why every month we go through a whole new phase of everything, and it's like all these ancients, they base things on where the moon was and where the sun is, and all these, because those are key two things, and that's why these two things change. The blood red in alignment, and don't give their light, and the stars don't give their light because they're a part of the firmament and all this factoring and all that. It's all interrelated. It's all one. It's all in the eye beholder, and you know, every eye will see the kingdom of God, even if you can't even see the sun. Just the light of heaven shining in, the clouds of glory and the sign of salvation and all that. Even if you can't see that, you're in some cave somewhere. Like when you rest and you close your eyes and you see the dreams and whatnot, or those people have been saying when they close their eyes to see a flash of light going from one end of their eye, one end of heaven to the other into heaven. And you know, it's all in there, man. I've been explaining this, just giving you more depth into it. And this explains why the gravitational effect cycles. Oh yeah, let's go through the different zodiacs. And right now I'm taking over Scorpio, because Scorpio is not a very positive sign. It's like the betrayer. But I'm basically taking this month over. And in all the dreams they had, they talked about how, you know, people would go mad and they would start going crazy with, you know, like lose their mind, go zombie mode, and or they would just panic or whatever, and you know, like the scripture said they would. And but the people of God would get shot up to heaven. And I noticed that there's endless dreams, like they always include the moon and all that kind of stuff, or extra moons, and always there, man. And it's just like an opening, and then they see blast opening there, and then they get shot up, and meet them and all that. So let me see. But yeah, the zodiacs are all factors, like a different story every month, and you know, that's why there's always stuff that has to do with the days and all that I've been doing. And I already showed you how those alignments and stuff work. Anyway, so I saw a different version of this world during the blood moon eclipse. That's why the moon is worship, colors, phases. Yes, different phases, and that's why they observe the moon and base their timing around it, because it's showing you the truth. Like, the other world's probably more true than this world, and that's why they say you make Earth as in heaven. Because the other world probably in heaven, this world, it's like basically a trash ass duplicate that needs to be fixed, that has been fucked over, and it's probably the only world like it from what I can tell. Now, I've seen other worlds with cowardly people, but could be just stemming from this one. Anyway, so you wouldn't even believe some of the things I've done. I've done a lot of raptures. Like, I beat the big giant robot, which really what we're up against, some kind of robot. Just like we got AI and all this shit here, and just like the Matrix movie. And I basically just knocked over this giant heavy rod that was strong as fuck. I knocked him over with it. Guess I wasn't being held back so much in that world like I've been in this one. And I knocked him over, and then it's different changes in these different worlds. And I just bashed them in. And they gave me a parade and all this stuff. And I've had quite a few worlds. Like I was fighting this big giant monster in this one world where I had charged up a blast. Yeah, I just charged it up kind of like a big giant ball, and I hit him with it, blasted his ass. And then like this other world, I was basically like Ichigo. I was a Shinigami, and I was going through walls and these buildings, going through the walls, and these guys were chasing me, and they had guns, and they were shooting, but it wasn't affecting me. And I was smart enough, because I'm a strategist in the Ultimate Warrior, that I knew that I shouldn't use bullets if I could do that kind of strategy. I would just run through the chunk as tall as the building was, easily. And so they couldn't shoot me because the walls would absorb the bullets. So I would use the sword, and I would just slice them up as we went through the walls, and they wouldn't see me coming. I would just come through the wall, cut them up. As I sliced right through them, and the bullets wouldn't affect me. They wouldn't react in time. I'd have the sword just ready for them. And there's just so much stuff that I've done in the dreams that I know is true now. Like, I remember getting whipped before I even saw the anime character called My Hero Academia, called Deku or Midori. It's got to do with weed and all this, whatever, but green or whatever. I don't do that anymore, but that was like got to do with my beginning and all that stuff. And then really like Almighty, because been through a lot, that's all I'm gonna say. And handing my power over to the man child, which is really just me again, like you. But really, so I'm not really at my full power that I could be. Just things that I went through earlier and earlier battles I've been through. Like, I would be able to push myself a lot harder if it wasn't for that. And just like All Might, and I've been basically a symbol of peace for people, trying to not show them what's really going on. But really at the end of the day, we got it. It's gonna be relatively easy, but it's gonna be a fight at the same time. You can tell from All For One, my opposite, which is basically this greedy fucker that steals everybody's power for himself instead of sharing his power with other people, which is what I do with my outpouring Spirit of God. It shares my power with everybody, one for all, you see. But it destroys the wicked and burns with the sun of righteousness that we've been seeing. I'm not sure if it's the one at the South Pole or it's that one that's always around the sun, which could be just simply the parallel world sun. Just like this parallel world's moon that I've named ZenRon, a blessing from God, life poured out, the outpouring of the Spirit, the fullness, the restoration, the things that were and will be. I saw a different vision in the world and of this world, different version of this world during the moon eclipse. I saw my uncle, who I saw made it to heaven. He never denied God, and family very similar to 1213. I'm not going to give my house away, but yeah, the address is 1213, like 2012, 2013, when they thought the world was going to, and then they corrected it from 12 to 13, where Comet Sun came. And I was right, that thing was emerald color. That's why a lot of people will see these green colors. got to do with my throne, and I was sitting in my throne through the opening of heaven, which is the sun. A big chunk went into it. That's why you get these green colors from it now. And the other part just continuing on. To be here is, a factor to help me here. And it looked like a mountain. Like, I'd fight from Mount Zion, and the guy literally saw the guy with sharp sickles. It's got to do with my beginnings. It's to boost the constellation, the greater shepherd, the greater flock. There's two of them. It's like there's two worlds and all that. And I've already explained this. But yeah, then the house that was solid enough of a reality to be in multiple worlds. Seen it many times, just didn't recognize it. That it was basically, like just the same house in different realms. I was just thinking, I was dreaming back then. I didn't know it was really these different possibilities. Because I saw some far out shit. Like, my grandma was pretty interesting, that's all I'm gonna say. She had like all kinds of houses. She was successful in every single world, like that's all I can say. And then that Cain brother, my older brother, it's all based around me. That's what the Adam and Eve thing was about. Cain was basically symbolic of my older brother and then my failed parents, Adam and Eve. And it was all part of the story. It was all part of the possibility of making me manifest. And that's what Jesus was up to. That's why in Egypt they had the two lions that one manifest the other, from spaceless timelessness, and then that one manifested him into space-time. And that's why he's in me in the beginning, the Alpha, the Father. That's the Word. That's Jesus. He's the command. Become God. He became God. And then he made me manifest. Why he commanded me to receive His Spirit. And that's why we're the two witnesses. Why it says Jesus Himself be crucified where I am in DC. That's why I'm the head. He's the heart. I'm the head chakra. He's the heart chakra, the power, and ZenRon. So, family members I saw, just didn't recognize I saw family members and friends. And like in dreams, I'm talking about other dreams I had friends and people that were close to me, key people in my life. Now I understand that these are parallel possibilities and all this stuff. Nearly made, and then there was this friend I was good friends with for a while, but Mobile Legends, because of the horrible matchmaking, we were getting bad teammates, worse than he had never got, because he's playing with me, so the game had to set him up. And I saw him in a dream later, but we had broke off because he kept talking shit to our teammates, and I'm like, that's not going to help. They're doo-doo, of course, but that's not going to help. You're just going to make the morale worse, and they're going to probably troll and blah, blah, blah. So we broke up all that. This person was really somebody I was meant to be friends with. And saw it in a dream later, but it is what it is. The devil's been trying to ruin all my possibilities in this world. That's why they took down my YouTube page, all kinds of shit, man. And millions of views deleted before they went for anybody's page. Like, all these changes they keep doing is just for me, man. Like, Orwell's 84. I was conceptualized in 84, came in 85. His comment came through, the same comment that was here when Jesus was here. The only one we recorded. And when it makes sense, the only one that marks out the age of the person's life, rescoring 10. And then on top of that, they did something after that, like this, like all this Terminator stuff that came out, Michael Jordan, Mike Tyson, like God, that's what that name means, popped up right when I was born. Like when I got out of high school, they went right into Iraq, trying to cause me problems. And then like when I learned how to manifest reality, they did the housing bubble when I went on my first job interview, because I realized the social media shit is rigged and it doesn't matter what I do. They're never going to accept me because I'm a man of color, and they're looking for some kind of Caucasian Jesus that doesn't exist. Or they just hate me because I'm the real deal. I'm not a shill, or whatever you want to call it. So I just knew it wasn't going to work, and I still to this day haven't got $1 donation, despite doing things nobody else can do or ever will do, and or have done. That's the whole reason I sent Jesus, so people would have no excuse, because I alone overcame, and I was lonely, and I wanted friends and stuff like that to share my glory with. And it seems like 24 elders overcame. They might be the 24 Melchizedeks, who are just basically avatars of God. maybe just certain individuals, or maybe just me, and me like usual. Because all these 12 constellations have 2 deacons, and it's really actually got, I think it's got 3 of them. And it's forever 4, so each one of them is 4. You look at the story of God I got on my page, you'll understand. The whole story is told in the heavens, and my throne is over at the North Pole. If you want to get a little bit of power, you might want to sleep towards the north, and you head towards the north. Maybe try the south. If that doesn't work, I'm not sure if it's upside down. But I think the north's where it's at. Because, you know, you get the Aurora Borealis that has my colors, the emerald and the sardine stone and all that cool stuff. So, yeah, it's just all these things I was seeing, and I was able to visit the same world more than once that night by simply in my mind leaning back. And it felt like I was still here. Like, it never felt like I left my body. It never felt like I left this place where I was at. It just like had my eyes closed, and it just kind of leaned back subconsciously without meaning to. And I didn't lose consciousness at all. And then I'm in there, and then and I would go in there, and, you know, I'd be like talking to them, be like, hey, yeah, I got to say this last time I was here, and stuff like that, you know, that kind of thing. But it's real, man. Like, that's what the moon is, and that's why they don't want you to know about it, bro. That's why they don't want you to know about it. It's literally the upside down world. It's the real world. It's like real in this shitty fucking world. And you know, they got this in comics and shit like that, trying to mock what's going on in DC. You know, the place I live, DC multiverse. You know, a lot of these stuff's based around people of color. Like the whole X-Men thing was based around the civil rights movement. You know, a lot of these characters are based around me, like me or my shadow, like Apocalypse, Cable. Cable's like strongly related to me, and the Savior and all this stuff. Like, they literally poisoned me and got this stuff in me when they jumped me this one time, and I went to the hospital and had no bones broken or anything. And they was like, we need to do a test on you because we can't understand how this happened. And they MRI'd me, and they lied and said the ink was not going to be a problem, but it's really a metal. They didn't give me like the normal ink they give some people. They gave me a metal ink, and it weakened my power and allowed them to attack me more directly. And after that, like, nobody cares, so like karmatically hit everybody else, just like the Bible said. Whatever they do against the 2 witnesses will come back on them, because that's the law. That's the son of righteousness. It's the power. It's my weapon, my sharp 2-edged sword. So if I do dumb things, it could come against me too. You know, that's why I try not to do stupid things. You know, and you know, that's why I don't have to raise a hand. I just defeat them with my word, my commands, my power. And that's what I do. And Superman based around me, because I didn't really know my purpose when I came here. This world has like an amnesia wall on it, and so much more I could say about this. This is why it actually comes out when I'm born too. Like, it starts to end around that time. Goes through all these different earths and stuff. And it's way deeper than you'd imagine. Like, if I really broke this down, you'd be amazed. Like, I'd have to really go through this shit. I have to make a whole nother video for that, because I'm a news reporter. I'm not really capable of doing that. And it's just got to do with the multiverse, man. Like, really all it's about. You see this? Showing you how, like, all these different earths, like, slightly different, slightly branched off from the original. And this one you get to learn about it. Ironically, this guy of color that's basically fighting against this anti-version of him. That's basically antimatter, and they're both rulers of the multiverse. One is of the antimatter verse, and one is of the living multiverse. And there's a lot of stuff to it. And, you know, you basically you see Rose Wave and Flash. It's disgusting. And yeah, you know, they always got to make it dramatic or whatever. Or reality is really not a competition at the end of the day. It just drags on because people being dumbasses at the end of the day, really. And then you'll see how many people have like moon dreams. So moon. Rapture. See, there's like a whole bunch of these. It's too many for me to include. I'm gonna have to make a whole nother video about these. I wanted you to understand what the earth really is and why these people are having all these dreams and all that stuff. But that ain't shit. Like, out of one video, just one fucking video, look at all these people. Look at all these people, man. Look at that, bro. Are you kidding me? Like, crazy, bro. Like, I could go through these, but I don't have time. It's just a whole bunch of people talking about the boon and the emerald and how they got caught up and then people losing their minds, like I told you. It's usually a bigger one, a smaller one, and then there's a meteor. And then this girl that was a prophet I knew that really should have been, like, she probably was meant to be, like, in my life, I could tell. It's because she was such a prophet, and, like, she would be making these videos about stuff, like, right when I do stuff, and I would consider her worthy simply because she's such a prophet. I don't know if she's attractive or whatever, but I would give her a shot. But, because she also is being followed by these lizards, the serpent seed all over the place. Just like I get targeted by these individuals, but at this point they're afraid of me. Because I'm pretty much, like, very strong in my glory at this point. And I'm very firm. And I'm very insulated, and there's not much they can do about me at this point. Pretty much already perfected the power. That's why the moon was trying to grab me last night. Like, I literally created a power, I'm not gonna slide. They're trying to target people that were, like, these racist Caucasian people, and I kind of inadvertently gave, I was like, hold on. I shouldn't include this one thing I included because I was like, just because how powerful I am, even though it's supposed to destroy them, I got a lot. I was really mad after that shooting. Because I saw how they were trying to hold back the people of color from ascending on the blood moon. And how they were trying to cause this negativity and all. And they shot up a church in San Francisco, and there were, like, all these other shootings. All in one day, just like these guys said would be happening on the blood moon. They would lose their minds, and they would he heard all this violence in the apartments and the people and stuff like that, like they had lost their mind. And their true form came out, like I said. It's just like a werewolf when the moon comes out, like, just exposing them because it's like a true light. The sun is a strong light, but the moon is a very strong factor as well. And and let me see, how do I say this? So basically, you know, I was trying to shut that down. So I was like, you know, I'm tired of these guys constantly undermining me and acting like there's some good guys when they're destroying the planet. And I was like, you know what? I hold off from doing this, but I'm just gonna destroy him. And I was like, hold on. I realized there's one part that's gonna probably actually bless them because it wasn't a command. Literally, like, that's how powerful I am. I was like, man, they're probably getting blessed. And Luca went off last night. I think it was because either that or, like, I noticed when I created these commands, as I perfected them recently, that it gets rid of the negative version of them and it, like, chases in a better version of them. So I probably should have kept it, but I didn't want to bless them proportionately. Because, you know, like, I really don't feel like these people are really that good. Some of them are okay, but I think it had to do with the fact that I destroyed and removed the racist ones, the Nazi ones, white supremacist ones, and then kind of, like, left the normal ones alone, so they got a blessing in return for that. I just think that's how it happened, because Luka literally just set a record last night. Blew them out so bad. And then I was looking at Boston Celtics. That's literally where this all started, like, when my ministry started. Like, they were blessed by this as well. And I noticed the one Caucasian guy that was in the highlights, he was just bully balling and stuff. Rebounds and shit. I was like, man, I ended up blessing these guys. I know it. And I know these guys ain't racist because they play with black people all the time, so they know how intelligent they are. These are all people that made it through college. They're not the ones that fell into the trap and all that shit. And it made me want to cry when I learned about all this, like as far as the moon and all that. I was crying, I ain't gonna lie, I was crying this morning. But like it made me want to cry. What I was really saying is when I saw Shaq. When I saw Shaq in that video I put up on my page about faith restored to humanity. Because he actually told them the truth. He really is the man of iron, like he deserves that title, the man of steel. Like, even though you know who I am, I got the rod of iron and all that, but I wanted to respect him, and because he told the kids the truth. He was like, I'm going to tell you a secret. When I was your age, you know how much money I made? $700 million or some shit like that. He was like, this is how you're going to be successful. You got to respect everybody around you. That way they don't fucking cause problems for you in parallel universe. That's true. But the most important thing he taught them, that was the secret. He's like, I'm going to show you a secret. Repeat after me. I can be whatever I want to be. And I was like, oh my God, he told them and they don't even know, man. They don't even know. They probably think he's just trying to hype their heads up. Like I'm telling you, it's all in your head, bro. This dude knows the secrets, bro. He's in that deeper stuff. And I remember after I put the video up, he's a flat earther. He's a flat earther. I'm like, oh my God, it really made me want to cry, but I didn't, But this shit about the moon, this really made me cry. It really did, because it's just like, I learned it. I got a word that I ain't never known before, ZenRon. Like, it was trying to pull me. It was trying to pull me so hard. God was trying to pull me out of my body. I was like, no, I'm going to tell these dudes, man. I'm not going to just leave them without telling them. So if I'm gone, guys, I stop making videos, you know what happened, I'm gone. Like, I'm sorry. Like, nothing I can do about it. Like, I've given you guys the power and everything to be able to do it as well. And I'm not going to leave this place with, I'm going to come back and I'm going to be the most vengeful spirit they've ever fucking seen in history. It's the reason that God keeps me in sackcloth and ashes this whole time. It's to build my motivation. Because that's what your dream is based around. It's based around what you're motivated to do. That's why drugs fuck up your motivation and fuck up your dreaming. That's why I would always have these strong dreams to see the heavens and all the moons and all extra suns. I actually got hit with a planet or a moon. I don't remember. I don't remember. I don't know which one it was. Kind of hit and blew away half of my body. And I was like, oh my, bro. Before I said it, as soon as I could see it, in that much time, it hit. It went from like a dot to bro. I could hear it after my body had got destroyed. And half of my body was still there. So that was a scary alternate universe. I feel sorry for that planet. That Earth, or whatever you want to call it. I've seen all kinds of shit. I remember before I even knew I was enhancing the sun, that guy brought me to the sun. And I was just sitting next to it. I was like, okay, this is terrifying. And he made me create this, using my subconscious powers, a big giant amplifier. It looked like a big giant amplifier speaker. And I remember I had it on camera and the Sechi probes and all that shit before they took my old page. And I had so much footage on my old page, you wouldn't even believe it. Like, way more than I have on my new page. Like, they made it so much harder to get footage now. I have a feeling that's not going to be the case forever. I feel like I'll be able to wipe through this shit. As you can already see, like things that I was doing before, like the sun waving you and saying hi. It's really God doing that. But, it's just witnessing for me and all that kind of stuff, doing it in various ways. But, yeah, I'm right like usual. But also, I wanted to bring up this one part. You see, it was like I never went to sleep and I was still awake. And this happened in April. I told you that's when it all started for me. It's April. And that's when he was born. It's tax season. That's when it started for me. And it started with the Boston bombing. I predicted that, and I got Obama indicted by my power. And then he indicted everybody else because nobody followed through with what the blessing I gave. Y'all are expecting too fucking much. I get this guy indicted. Y'all ain't do nothing. Do all these other things. Y'all ain't do nothing. Y'all literally just sitting back waiting for the fucking 6G, 7G to see what happens. And I've already fucking bought you time maybe even shorten those days and made it so all the flesh that would not have survives. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got so much, man. It's amazing. I haven't even got literally $1 donation. So I already know it's just God being a stickler, though. Like, it's got to be him. Like, it's like a miracle that I haven't got at least even $1 donation. Like, it's crazy. And like the day I go for an interview, they start COVID. Like, it's crazy, bro. Like, literally one fucking interview and they go do with the COVID shit. Like, that's just one thing after another, bro. Like, here's what it is. Like, you guys keep leaving me in the fucking ditch, man. Y'all getting y'all karma, man. This is literally what all this stuff's been happening. All the stuff that I've been going through, like stuff that other targeted individuals have been going through. And now it's hitting y'all, like, because y'all didn't do nothing. Y'all didn't care. Y'all didn't support us. So, yeah. Like I said, this is why 2 witnesses against Sodom and Egypt. You know, they witnessed against Sodom and Egypt. And it looked like a person was hitting the damn tent out here. They're in my backyard. My parents got like 5 houses in DC, like 4, I don't remember, like 2. One right here, one right up the street. That was one I was mentioning earlier, one up the street. I can't be in none of them. Like, they just leave me in the backyard. This is crazy, bro. Like, and there's other house they got and all that. Because, you know, they're pretty much sellouts and all that kind of stuff, but it's God making this happen. I already know. He wants me to be highly motivated when I pass, to be this highly vengeful spirit against this world, and to destroy this place, man. That's all I'm gonna say. And to remake it and rebuild it, and to in my image, you know, what I want it to be, whatever I want it to be. Really, I can do whatever. Like, certain things got stickler as fuck about that. Okay? And this is one of them. I already know why, though. It wants me motivated. I already know. Yeah, it is what it is, man. I ain't gonna doubt him, because he's been very wise with the timing of everything he's done with me so far. But yeah, that's that, man. Like I said, this guy, you know, he didn't even, it was just when the moon was out, he looked at it before he went to bed, and then he went to bed, and then went to sleep, and then it was like he didn't even go to bed, and he looking out a window, just like how I told you, I flipped upside down, it was like a window, but it really looked like a door, and it was all light. I went through it, and I was in another world. Don't use this for evil, man. If you do, I'm gonna punish you. I promise you that. Because you're not allowed to use what I tell you for anything but good. That's the way it works, bro. You cannot use any of the forbidden knowledge that most of y'all ain't even worthy to learn for anything besides good. That's all you're allowed to do, is just forget the evil. That's how it works. Evil doesn't even need to be thought of. It needs to be forgotten. That's the way to defeat it. Forget it. And like usual, I'm right. Oh yeah, in case you didn't notice, like all these other events that happened after I created power, like just yesterday. Because I didn't even finish explaining. I made it really a command and kind of perfected the power, taking certain things out of it and added some things. I had to do it twice yesterday, that's why I didn't make no videos. But yeah, there are events related to that, and I'll get to that in the next video. Alright, good luck to you guys, and Godspeed. To those of you that deserve it, the people of God, the people that love my son Jesus Christ, the Shah Mashiach, peace, space. Perfect day between whom the light that never fails dwells.